2025 Goshen Board of Education meeting to order at 6:30 p.m. Mr. Schenkel, can you please call the roll?
Mr. West?
Yes.
Mrs. Werke?
Here.
Mrs. Paprocki?
Here.
Mr. Rivera?
Here.
Mrs. Gray?
Here. Do I have a motion to approve tonight's agenda?
So moved.
Second.
Let's make the motion. Bill second. Any discussion? Mr. Schenkel, can you please call the roll?
Mr. West?
Yes.
Mrs. Werke?
Yes.
Mrs. Paprocki?
Yes.
Mr. Rivera?
Yes.
Mrs. Gray?
Yes. Thank you. Tonight, I'd like to invite everyone to join me in a brief moment of silence. As we sit here moments before a new school year, let us think about and take time to reflect on the hopes that are ahead of us, the challenges we may face, and the commitment we share to support our students, educators, and families of our district. Thank you. Please stand to join Superintendent Brian Bailey as he leads us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mr. Bailey, welcome Mark Slagle to share technology and communication updates.
Wonderful. Thank you guys for having me. I'm afraid I will not be as entertaining as the students we usually have at this part, but I'll do my best. This has been a really interesting summer and a really fun summer for a couple reasons, but the big one is that a lot of times the direction we have to go in the summer is dictated to us by need, right? Because we need more computers or something's broken or we have to expand the Wi-Fi, et cetera. And this has been a summer where, in addition to taking care of all of those things, we've gotten to put some emphasis on our teachers in our classrooms and trying to find ways to be sure that they are doing what they do best, which is, of course, connecting with students, building relationship, and then delivering instruction. And so what I'm going to show you tonight is a few of the things that we are implementing for this coming school year that we're really hoping help them do that. Taking one step back, a big thing that we did last year was we had some conversations about how do we know what teachers need? How do we train teachers? How are we making sure that the things that we invest in as a school district are getting used in our classrooms, getting used properly, getting used appropriately, so that we can be sure that we, one, are, of course, educating our students to the very best of our ability, but then two, also making appropriate use of the resources that we are spending our money on. And so we did some research, and what we did was we created a team of teachers from across the district that is called the Technology Explorers Team. They are teachers from the different school buildings. We did our best to get somebody from each grade level and or content area in every building. And they spent the summer with me on Google Classroom, talking about our initiatives that are coming up, telling me what the buildings need, telling me what their classrooms need, and then helping us choose technologies, platforms, services to fit their needs. Then we built the training that we're going to deliver to all of our staff members on Monday. So it's been a really productive summer. I think what we have is really good. I'm going to show you some things right now. Starting with all of our teachers have an AV station in their classroom. They're not 85 inches like this, but they are 65 inches. They're really nice. They're about the size of what you guys see back here. All of them have a computer attached to the back. They all have a keyboard and a mouse that they can use, and that's been true for some time. What we added this year was two things. The first thing that we added is a really high resolution document camera that also can be detached and then used in any way you want. It automatically refocuses. It is very, very high resolution. And so that's hard. Whether you're a science teacher who wants to really zoom in on something and see it at really high res, or if you need to host a meeting, anything you need to do, these are a really great improvement from where we were this time last year. I think we're really going to make really good gains with these guys. Excuse me.
Yeah, I know. I was just thinking about that crank thing and the thing. Oh my God.
The next thing that we added, of course, it powered itself off. Give me 1 second. There we go. You guys see this? This is a tablet from a company called Wacom. If you're an artist or a digital artist, you know that name. They have for years been making the tablets that professional artists use when they're making Pixar movies, Disney movies, comic books, all that stuff. They released this last year, and it is specifically for education. And what you'll find that it does is it gives the teacher the ability to move throughout the room. They now have a stylus in their hand. You can see that the cursor is following me wherever I am here on the screen, right? And so if I just want to use it to navigate around the Chrome box, I can absolutely do that. But I can also now annotate on my screen from anywhere that I am. Most of our buildings do not have touchscreens in the classrooms, and that has been a request year after year from our people. This is a way we can deliver it with our current hardware. Right now, it doesn't cost us the money that it would cost us, of course, to replace those. And they are really, really powerful. You can see how responsive they are. There's a lot of use cases for these. This is just a whiteboard, of course, but I can also, if I'm giving a presentation, I can come in here and turn on my pen. And now I can write right on top of my Google Slides for whatever it is that I'm teaching. If I'm out on the internet, on any website that I happen to be on, I can instantly annotate on top of anything that's on my computer screen at any time. This is going to be a huge gain for our teachers. I'm really excited to roll this out for them. The mobility it gives them and the ability to teach right on top of anything, I think is going to be really, really powerful.
So each teacher or each classroom has that?
Every single one of our classrooms where we have a panel also has one of these, also has the document camera ready to go. Yep.
Great.
The other big thing that we're showing this year is AI. So AI is a really complicated topic. It's fast moving. Every day it seems like it does something new. And it feels, or at least has felt, a bit like the Wild West in terms of what is the appropriate way to use AI? What is the safe way to use AI? And as we looked at it, there's really we had two concerns and two goals, I think. Concerns were, of course, privacy and appropriate use for our students. Our goals were to give teachers a safe, private way that they could use AI to reclaim their time. The job of teaching, as we're told constantly, is, of course, build relationships, instruct, right? Create great classroom environments, teach our students what they need to know. The job, though, takes quite a lot of time of going and gathering materials, of note-taking, of doing meeting agendas, of all these things that AI can do a really excellent job of helping us do so that we can put them back onto the task of doing what they're great at, teaching our students. So there are two things I would say on this topic. One, privacy. We cannot be in a position where we are giving AI access to information that is for our families and our students, unless we are certain that the AI that we're using is one that we have the data privacy agreement with, that is legally obligated to never share that. So that's what we did. We invested in Google as a platform with Gemini, and then a platform called Magic School that I'll show you in a minute. We have data privacy agreements with both of those people that they will never use our data to train their models. They will never sell our data, and they are completely legally within, you guys have heard of Senate Bill 29. They are legally in compliance with Senate Bill 29 in a way that makes it safe for us to use this in our classrooms. So what we did was, we know that what AI is best at is helping you save time by automating tasks, gathering resources that you can't gather yourselves, et cetera. We surveyed our entire staff and we said, you tell us about the things that are taking the most of your time from you. Every single one of them, just about, responded to the email. we compiled those survey results and we shipped them off to Magic School. And we said, hey guys, you show us what we can train our teachers on so that we have really impactful training when we come back to school in the fall. That's what we did. They told us that our biggest time-consuming tasks are, of course, creating instructional materials, differentiating instruction, finding and adapting your resources, writing reports or documentation, all things that AI is excellent at. We shipped that off to Magic School, and they said, okay, Goshen, these are the very best tools for solving that problem. And that's what we are going to show our teachers on Monday. So we'll just try one. This is what they call a worksheet generator. If you've ever used AI, you probably expect it to look like this. A white screen with a box, and now you have to know how to tell it what to do. That's a big ask.
Yeah.
For teachers, right? For students, etc. What Magic School does is it breaks this down into a menu of items that teachers use all the time. So we have vocabulary list generator, email families, IEP generator, etc. And it walks the teacher through the process of creating by asking them the questions. So in this worksheet generator, it wants to know what grade level are we working at? We'll say grade 6. The one filled in here is what is the process of mitosis? You can put anything you want in here. You can even add a
We have to do the
file.
worksheet.
What's that?
We're
This is
not
going to
doing
be
the
given to
worksheet,
us
do
to
we?
You're going to be graded, absolutely. And then we just say generate. And then Magic School does the work of finding the resources, building it, etc. So now we have our introduction, our multiple choice questions, our open-ended questions, our answer key. And if you're our teacher, what you do is you generate this and then you go back and you read it for accuracy. You read it for differentiation. You make sure that you're meeting the needs of the students who are in your seats on that day. And then when you're ready, you push the share button and it sends out to Google Classroom and your quiz is made. So that process that would take hours before, right?
Right.
You're getting done in a much more efficient way, lets you get back to teaching.
I see it also has a resource library, so you can do a check on the resources and that they're appropriate for.
Absolutely. Yep. You can even, the other great thing that Magic School does is there's a student-facing side of it. And what that lets our teachers do is decide when and how students are going to use AI. They get to come in here and they say, on this day, we are going to allow you to use these tools only. They can give them custom instructions. If you're learning physics that day, I could build a chat bot that's Albert Einstein, right? And say, get in there, ask him questions, talk to him, etc. The teacher then sees every single prompt that the students make and the feedback that they got on that in their dashboard. So our ability to understand how we're using it, if it's appropriate use, is it secure and safe? This is a tool that lets our teachers do that.
So you said the teachers can select that day. So if there's only 3 of those, language tutor, song generator, text translator.
Yep.
Those are the only 3 options that would pop up for that.
That's
student
exactly
day
right.
on
So
their
I could
Chromebook.
get in and say, language tutor.
Yeah.
I would give it the instructions that I want to give it. And then I would say, I want to save it to my room. And my room, in this case, we're talking about Google Classroom. And then it posts out for the students who are with there at that time, and then they can get in and use the tools. When the teacher's ready for them to be done using these tools, they just cut back in and say, that's it, you're done. They take it back away from them. So I know that's a lot. Any questions on Magic School?
You say they're going to be trained
Yeah.
this Monday.
On Monday, yeah.
Like how long will they be trained? I mean, what does that session look like?
There are 2, I'm glad you asked. I spent my whole
Because it
summer
can be
on
a bit
this.
overwhelming. You know, I mean,
It can
there
be.
some people, their heads will be spinning and.
There are 2 sessions. One is for people who are brand new to AI, and that one will be hosted on a building by building level by the TechX team members who have been working all summer on this. There will be a second session that's for more advanced users, and that'll be centralized, and myself and Mr. Walt, who works here, will be teaching that for the more advanced users who don't need this stuff, right? But to answer your question, the format is going to be that we are going to get our teachers in the room at each building, and we are going to talk to them about what Magic School is and how to log into it. Then we are going to talk to them about appropriate use and the safeguards that are in place in terms of privacy, et cetera. And then we are going to talk to them about best practices with AI, which is, of course, know that you have to check the content, right? Always go through the steps of being sure that you're being safe when you're using it with your students. Then we are going to pull this worksheet up, and we are going to go one by one through the tools that we know can save them the most time. We're going to show them by clicking into it what it looks like to make one. And then we're going to pause and give them 20, 25 minutes per tool to play around on their computers and learn themselves.
Good.
Then our team members will float around, they'll assist them as they're asking questions, et cetera. And hopefully by the time they leave, they've had a good 2+ hours of solid engagement with this platform, and they've actually generated some things that they're going to be using.
Our students, do they have access to Magic School on their own or only when a teacher gives them?
So the answer
Access.
is only when a teacher gives it to them. However, the teacher can choose for that to be all the time.
Okay.
So for instance, a teacher could get their classroom rules out and make a chatbot whose only job is to communicate about classroom rules and let the T-suits know anytime you want to talk or ask a question about what's going on in the classroom, this is available to you.
Because I would think we encourage students to use Magic School as safe platform versus ChatGPT to be out there writing it, or I don't know, maybe that's not
Sure.
one, that's what I use, or, you know.
Yep.
We want them to use a safe
I also
platform.
saw on here, like, there's some pretty good student resources. Like I saw on the one tab, there was like a song creator.
Mhm.
So I think about people who learn from, right? We learn,
Yeah.
like musical people who learn in that manner. And if you have a topic, say it's a science topic, but it creates a song, like with a beat, like what a great way to learn for.
If you had to memorize the periodic table or something.
Or I think about, like, when I was little, we learned the states with the song, right? We learned the capitals with the song. You learned all these things that you still remember today because it was a catchy little song.
And my grandpa would have loved that. I think every day he made a song up of whatever we were doing that day. Like, he just out of, yeah.
In there?
Oh, I was.
Create, yeah. Just fix create.
I'm being incredibly risky right now, so
Yeah.
feel free to shut me down.
Yeah.
Well, now I want to know if it works.
Create a song about
Songs
the
about-
periodic
I
table.
think
Grade level, are they talking about periodic table in 6th grade?
Not general.
7.
Let's do 7th.
It's gotta be pretty big.
That was a mistake. That should actually go in song topic. Luckily, we can copy paste.
There.
Okay, so they're showing us what a student would see. What song would you like me to use for the tune and melody? For instance, Twinkle Twinkle Little Star.
Oh my.
Yeah.
Let's do
Are there any
it.
specific details about the periodic table that you want to include? All right, 3 blind mice. We're just writing lyrics, I see.
Yeah, but it'll play.
Yeah, I think it'll play right there.
Whose voice do they use?
I really,
Perfect. I'll create a song about the periodic table to the tune of 3 blind mice. Here it is. Elements all around, hydrogens first, then
Yeah,
helium
it's just reading it
comes,
to
then
us.
helium comes. They sit at the top of the table, so neat, with protons and neutrons.
Like an opera. Please sing in an opera voice.
but Mr. Gray, to answer your question, I do think there might be another one that actually does that
Yeah.
inside of this. Yep. But I think we're pretty excited about where our teachers are headed and what we're offering them this year, and I think that this is really going to help us.
We would like for it to sing an opera with Mr. T.
I think you go back to what Mark said. I mean, this is a supplement for our teachers.
Yeah.
And it creates new engaging lessons. That's a big thing with kids nowadays. It's got to be engagement. Some of these things engage, and it's great tools to be able to do that. So I do feel, a lot of Mark's conversations and our conversations where let's have a platform that we know is not the Wild West.
Right.
And I feel like this one is that. So
It's our first year with the Magic School.
Yes.
We've done some free versions.
Okay,
Yeah.
because I've heard about it a bit at conferences and
Mhm.
stuff,
Yeah.
I just didn't know.
We've had some teachers using the free version, but this is our first year where it's a district-wide enterprise
Okay,
adoption.
good.
I think what's so neat about it, right? There's a spectrum of what people are comfortable with, and this allows the teachers who are more comfortable to dive a little bit deeper. But other teachers just to dabble in it and start to figure it out, as the world progresses just so quickly.
You gotta meet them where they're at.
Yeah.
Yep, and prepare your students, of course.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
Right.
So what's the 100% use this, you think, or 95% of teachers?
Of our teachers,
Yeah.
we'll get 100%
You think so?
exposure.
Oh, okay.
We'll also follow up with our building integration specialists, whose job it is to get out there and train as the year gets started and as the year goes on. So we'll keep at it, but they do have a platform for us to get in and see who's using it, how they're using it, how they're making the most of it. And what I think we'll probably also do is use that information to assess who our power users are and then bring them back to talk to everybody else.
And then what about teachers that have really good project lessons already? Are they able to put it in their project lessons and maybe update it, refresh it? Something
sure.
they've been using? Okay.
What they can also do is, in almost every Magic School tool that they have, you'll see a place where you can add your own files.
Okay.
And so if you already had an amazing lesson
Yeah.
and you just needed a quiz for that, you could pop your stuff in and it would generate the quiz. Then you'd check it for accuracy, differentiation, et cetera, ship it out. Yeah, whether you're making new or just having
Right.
it use your own tools, absolutely.
I guess it is too. It'll change depending on grade level, right? Like, I could see this being a very strong tool at like middle school, high school, and even at the other spaces and like things that they already have and want to tweak or modify. But I know at the college level, we're beginning to use this a lot more too. So pretty neat.
All done with me?
That's nice.
Okay.
Mark kind of went through that. The summer has been, he's had 3 or 4 tech kids, interns that have done an incredible job all summer. And we only had so much time to share with it, but they came into our admin team meeting today. We've got good kids that have done a lot with getting all of our Chromebooks up ready, our networks up and ready. They printed all the new key badges for staff. He's got a department that's running well and does a lot to make sure that our teachers have the tools they need, and that the kids have teachers that are engaged with this. So having that Tech X team, getting teacher leaders in front of it was a great idea by Mark to get teachers on board with this and teacher leaders in the spot to drive it. So we can always lay it out there and then it's who scarfs it up. But when you've got teachers teaching teachers, it's more powerful. So it's good.
Oh, I do have just one question. I forget exactly what the problem was, but the damages that came out as we thought maybe it was a problem
The
to
TikTok,
Chromebooks.
USB TikTok thing.
Oh, yes. What did it, was it a big problem or how many?
I wouldn't call it a big problem. I don't have an exact number for you. It's more than 20, right?
Okay.
Not wide. What our interns did was they went through every Chromebook and they cleaned them. It wasn't meticulous to the point where they were a little frustrated that this was all they were doing all day. But what we have to hand back to our students is one incredibly clean, ready to go Chromebooks. But they also, during that process, looked at every power port, every USB port, et cetera, and identified where they thought this might have been related to the sticking the metal in the ports situation.
Okay.
And if you want a number on exactly what that is, I can get it for you.
It wasn't.
I can tell you that it wasn't a large enough number to cause them to come to me and say, oh my gosh.
Okay.
We have to buy so many Chromebooks.
Yeah.
Speaking of buying, how many did we buy this year?
150, I think. Was the
Video.
What we do there is we get to the end of the year and we say, all right, examine the entire fleet. How many do we have here on the shelf and out for repair? Then we say, what do we think our numbers are going to look like next year, right? Project some growth. Then we say, what would it take to have an extra 10% on the shelf? So we know there will never be a situation where a student comes down to the library or the office and says, I need a computer because I left mine at home, and we have to say no, right? And that's the number that we typically use for the next school year. This year, that number was 150.
Do we have a 100% turn back in rate?
It's never 100%.
Okay.
Really high though, I
Is
would
it
say.
okay?
Yeah. They do really well. We pester them quite a lot via.
If not, it's on their fees.
Is that, yeah. Okay.
Yep.
Exciting stuff.
Any other questions? Thank you.
Thanks, Mark.
Moving on to new business, master facility planning.
All right.
Mr. Bailey?
I'm just gonna kind of, again, I think it's healthy just to walk through the process where we're at. Charlie's gonna talk a little bit as well from SHP. So you guys know, since the last meeting, you guys, we approved the purchase. We did close on the property. I didn't write the date in here, but it is closed. So right now, we're working with the township on a conventional zoning change. It's not a zoning change. It was R3. It's just an application, so they know what our use is. So that, I think, is at their August 15th BZA. We'll go through the BZA. So, we're wrapping up all those pieces on our end. Since then, you guys also at that meeting approved the RFQ for solicitation for architectural and engineering. That was posted July 15th. Deadline for submission was the 29th. Then we had a few days to rank firms and then the target date for board approval for the resolution tonight was our timeline there. So that you guys know, we followed, the process, the legal process. We did have 2 firms apply for the RFQ. We went through a scoring rubric. That was myself, Todd, Teresa, and Troy. And then obviously selected our top firm, which was SHP. So tonight, you guys will approve a resolution for the ranking of the firms and then authorizing the execution of agreement for the architectural services related to that. A lot of whereas in that inside of this is really your piece of it, but I just wanted to show that we had Delta Engineering Group and SHP were our 2 that we looked at, and then we ranked SHP at the top of that. And at this point tonight, you guys will approve SHP as the top and my ability to get an agreement in with them for those services. So with that said, I did want to have Charlie here tonight because I think probably the question that I've got asked most is, what's this timeline? How's this working? What are the next steps? And I'm going to let him just kind of 50,000 foot this for us. He might dip down to 30 a little bit. I'm not sure, but just so that you guys have the big picture of where we go from here.
Yeah, so thank you. Kind of a part of the master planning is opportunities come up, and we are excited to help partner with you guys to basically do a tenant fit out is really the term for the administrative office moving. So right now that the kindergarten building is set up for kindergarten or preschoolers, and we'll retrofit it so it's for adults. And then in the meantime, we will also explore Mark Hook, the area they're going to vacate, about 5,000 square feet. And we will work with the district to reprogram that, re-envision that space so it can free up classrooms throughout Mark Hook. So we've looked at it and we are confident that we could find about 5 to 6 spaces that within Mark Hook that would move into the administrative space where the Board of Administration is. So it's in order to have everything done literally a year from now, that's really the target. You kind of got to back into having the construction of Mark Hook done a year from now. It's got to get that done. But before that's open, we got to get the kindergarten done and built so that these folks can move out and vacate it. So we need to move fairly quick on both projects. The office, the admin office reno is, again, it's adults. It's 14 to 17, people total. It's pretty formulaic, other than and so we can move on that quick. We think we might be able to bid that by November, and then come to the board with recommendations. The board would authorize sign a contract, and then construction would happen January, February, March, about 90 days to make that happen. That's pretty typical. In the meantime, we would then continue to design Mark Hook. Did that, probably going to bid them separate just because it's 2 different sites. It's also kind of a little bit 2 different construction methodologies. The office is more kind of drywall, doors, and office environment. And then the Mark Cook is more educational. It's higher, kind of higher level to take the wear and tear of kids, heavier use. We would bid that probably later December, early January. You can see on the schedule there says pre-construction. There's a lot of like legwork of ordering things and making sure stuff's fabricated. And then once these folks move out, then construction would move in, and it's about 4.5 months of construction: April, May, June, July, August, and have it turned over by August 15th or August 12th. You know, we might have a substantial completion by like maybe August 1st, and then so you guys could break it in a little bit before students show up. So in black is kind of a bi-weekly, every other week, trying to check in of how we continue to develop the design and kind of the details that we start to ask. And you can see some of the things that are as far as technology, furniture, the finishes. We will have renderings done so folks can see, you guys can see what's going to be produced. There's a visual. And then you can kind of see that week of Thanksgiving is CD page turn. So we got to go. We got to move pretty quickly to get this so we can be done a year from now. So. Questions?
I think for the over here at Mark Cook, when they were using the ideas that we talked about in Mason type the.
Yeah, so the concepts that we've shown is kind of a more modern media center and it's somewhat maker space is what we're kind of seeing if it can fit. So if you've been in Mark Cook's media center, it's 2 classrooms that just have a bunch of bookshelves. And so by going back to where the media center was, it's a lot higher volume. There's some opportunities to create a really cool environment where students are like, I want to go there. I want to build there. I want to learn there. I want to dig deeper, you know, so it's kind of a destination. And then it's surrounded by a variety of other spaces that we're still trying to figure out what the functionality will be. But the goal is to give Mark Cook a kind of an interior refresh that is fitting for 2026. And folks say, wow, this is really cool. And then see the effect of it, you know, because it might that's sometimes that says we might do more beyond this.
I think kind of as we've talked, and I know we're going to meet again Friday with SHP and their team, is to narrow with administration kind of what we feel like can be a long-term solution in there, and then bring it to the teachers to start talking about, okay, here's the space. What does this look like? What is the best use from an elementary teacher level lens, and be able to kind of envision it that way to get some teacher input and collaboration from that standpoint. So first, it started seriously with like 6 designs that could go in over there. So it's really narrowing up with building admin and then kind of looking 5-10 years down the road, we still want it to be, you know, suitable for that, flexible enough for that. To then bring it to teachers where we don't have 6 options and trying to do that, but we have 1 or 2 that we can really then talk through and say, okay, how do we do this? So big thing, space.
Would it be the classrooms, like the idea of having classrooms with the windows, kind of like we?
We talked a little bit about classrooms. I think there's some opportunity to put a couple classrooms in there. It's hard to say.
Okay.
Because I think you don't want to limit yourself, right? And that's where Charlie will say, we're probably struggling on our first meeting of, all right, if we do that, then that's what it is.
Yeah, I mean, right now your current classrooms in Mark Cook are you know, one singular classroom might have 4 people in there, and so could that functionality OTPT move to this new space and be more appropriately designed, have the things that they need to do OTPT, and then that classroom becomes a classroom for.
So you're saying like there could be 5 to 6 classrooms being used for other things than traditional classrooms?
Yes.
Those could become traditional classrooms and that space become how we use.
Yes, yeah. In Mark Cook, if you think about, you know, when that building was built, it was pretty much just, you know, traditional shotgun classrooms and classroom after classroom, and you guys have adapted it to kind of the different needs for today's learners. And so now it's kind of take some of those that are intermittent throughout the building, sprinkle it and do a really deliberate design in this space that'll be vacated, then you're gonna have 5, 6 classrooms open up where you can then fill those with 25 kids.
All right, that makes sense. So yeah, right now, they're basically,
That's nice.
it's like wasting space right now.
Yeah, it's just not efficient. It's using space more efficiently, basically.
I was originally in your mindset, we're just gonna build walls. 5 classrooms.
Yeah, our first
Got into it, it was like-
test we had 5 classrooms in there.
But you could.
Yeah, but that's why we have,
Yeah.
you know.
Yep.
I mean,
Yeah.
they're-
Yeah.
This is a more,
Outside.
this will be a better bang for your buck, and I think overall, the teachers, the students will say, man, this is such a better space for that task.
Well, it will also accommodate our growth as a district.
Yeah.
In the long run, so.
So related, do we have a timeline of the like community engagement meetings that we can let
We would.
them have a peek on this? I know that we don't want them to completely change
Yeah,
for the direction of this, but at least so they can see, and then hopefully we'll get more community engagement for
Yeah.
our bigger long-term projects.
yeah. So there's going to be kind of 2 parallel community engagements. We're still going to be doing the community engagement for master planning.
Yes.
That's level number 1. Then level 2 is we will and probably need to identify a couple of specific presentations where this information will be shared. Anybody can come out, not rather beyond a board meeting, and folks can just understand, ask questions, and get a better understanding of what the scope is. So that's very typical. You need to find the right.
Loop of those, because I do think we have community members reaching out to all
Right.
5 of us interested in the community
Yeah.
engagement, or that have asked questions that we've put out there, like, hey, come let your voice be heard, come share,
Yep.
that aren't traditionally involved in things that we really want to encourage
Yeah.
to be.
Charlie and I just kind of started talking about, we're gonna look at that. Because we had a plan
Yeah.
for that long-term community
Right.
engagement. Now it needs to fit in, okay, here's what we're doing. This is, like I've said, it's a stopgap for a little bit, but, we still have to plan for the bigger growth. And this is part of it. So I think we're gonna start re-envisioning that for fall and.
Fall next year and really into the fall of 26. Yeah. So,
Most thing I wanted like over the top almost to folks will really see what we can do with newer space and better space.
Yeah.
And they could really see the vision going forward. If we
Right.
make this space like so inviting, so engaging, over the top,
Yeah.
big ribbon
We'll see
cutting.
it throughout.
Big ribbon cutting.
just like something,
Yeah.
just, something big and something that they'll see. It's like, well, another building could be like this. It's a good investment type of.
I think also along that lines, like capturing what those classroom spaces look like now.
Yeah.
So like when someone walks in, what has now become a classroom, they can see what that space is and then see the new space too. Of like, we're able to redesign this space into that and get this classroom, right? I think that's gonna be, that visual is gonna be really important.
And the value of your partnership, because like you said, without you, we would have just built 5 classrooms and been done with it, and like, hey,
Yeah.
it's pretty good. But like, wow, like.
Well, getting the master planning going was step 1, and actually having a couple of our staff members walk all your buildings, we got to see and say, oh, well, we probably could do this a little more efficiently. And it's very typical with buildings that are, built in the 60s and 70s, where there's a lot of teaching things today that we didn't provide 20 years ago. 30 years
Working
ago.
the same.
Even 10 years ago.
10 years ago.
Yeah.
Any further questions? All right, thank you, and thank you for
Yeah.
joining us
Thanks,
next board meeting. Moving on to new business, item 8, public participation. Mrs. Scherzinger, do we have anyone signed in for public participation?
No.
You. Moving on to agenda item 8B, treasurer report. Mr. Schenkel?
Oh, that's gonna be not as exciting as Charlie's.
Let's see what you can do with AI.
I would be the one where he needs all the help to come in from Mr. Shake on this. So on the 5-year forecast, I know I put all that in the packet, but try to bring up the main lines here so we could just kind of focus on that. I mean, I know we've all talked about what was going on with the state budget and just a lot of moving parts on that. And I'll try to give you the impact on us. I mean, now this is all forecasted, and everyone's in enrollment, kids are coming in, and a lot of moving parts on this, but just where we're at right now in our forecast, I'll try to point it out. So we've got, everything should be moved on that forecast. So now in 2025, those are our numbers right here in this column. So what I have in here is the unrestricted grants and aid. That's what the state gives us, but it's not restricted at all. I mean, this is, we're classroom supplies, salaries, et cetera. The restricted grants and aids, that's where we got our DPIA for when we went into CEP, also student wellness. I mean, a lot of our programs like the Ascend Academy, intervention services, we use that because that money is, they want to get those kids going in that revenue. On this, if you can see in 23, we got in, so in the total, when we get this from the state, it's basically the restricted and unrestricted in one line. And you can see that we got 19,000,006 in 23. In 24, we got 19,200, and in 25 last year, basically 21. Well, if you start coming across what we're forecasting here, we had some pretty good jumps until these years out here where this number here is 20, 21, and I'm just rounding up to the millions. And the same thing here, 21 and 27. This year, basically, we dropped down to 19.6. Then we're 19.6 basically again, and 19.4. The thing that's just very, very tough for us is that our taxpayers are paying more money right now. I mean, we're at the 20 mil floor going up. I'll elaborate a little bit more on that in a little bit. But the state, then, they're saying we're a wealthier district, so they're taking money away. And that's probably the most frustrating thing because our total revenues coming across, you can see was at 33, 37, and 39 last year. Then we're basically just flatlined on our revenue for the next few years. So that's everything stays. This stays the same. Now you got to remember that these 2 years are what the state just did on the 2 year, on the budget. So these are all projected. But if you can see, we've had excess for the 3 years, and we're showing again that we should be in excess. Under budget until out here, and then these numbers really get big because we're basically flatline revenue. We got a 10% in for healthcare, we got 4% raises. All that kind of stuff forecast out, and we really start getting into our cash. Now, if we get to that point, that's 5 years from now. We'll start looking, but in 2028, we start getting into our cash. So that's where we haven't had that in a little while on there. So. I don't want anyone to freak out either, but because we really do have to watch what's going on, and then we'll see, a lot of moving parts because we're growing, more houses, more kids, we're going to need more buses, but they're bringing in more money. So it's going to be kind of a, just we'll work with it and see what we got.
So worst case scenario, 2028, we're dipping into what we've got on
Our
hand now.
savings, our
Yeah.
savings.
That's
28.
correct.
That's why we should have a savings,
Correct.
right? That's
Well,
what
and
we-
I would say if we reach that point, we're doing that, we're really looking hard at what we're saving.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Because this is where a typical district gets in this pattern and they're on a 5-year operating. We're on 1%. So we have to really start thinking about, because we can only dip into cash so much.
Yeah, right.
And we don't have that option to say, hey, we're about out of cash, we've got to go back out. So that's where we have to really start making, and we've had, 6, 7 years ago, we had to make those decisions. And, that's a year-to-year thing. So I don't, you like seeing a balanced budget.
Yeah.
If not a little under, so that you're prepared for that. But there are unknowns here. You guys know that. The houses coming in, the income's coming in. We just can't, you can project it, but you can't, right? So I think we're just going to have to keep a steady eye on this. Todd is right. I think we've said that the way the Fair School Funding Plan is modeled is your taxpayers pay X, the state's going to give you Y. And as your taxpayers, as that tax or you grow in value, the state's going to give you less. So, and the other side of that is, and we can say till we're blue in the face, the funding formula didn't account for inflation in this go around. So they did not increase their model to what it costs to educate a kid. I think they're still on 2020 numbers.
Yeah.
But I think, we have to be good stewards as we always are and have to look at this and know that, we'll continue to update it as we see updates. I think, Bill, I know that you asked for enrollment numbers. I think right now we're up 90 enrollments right now. So we're still waiting, as I kind of said, we're still waiting on that. You know, we're starting to get a few of the withdrawals, but not as many, and Donna's still queued up with 30 something in the queue to enroll. So you just got to kind of wait and see as we start the year and where we're at.
Have we seen that pick up in the last few weeks?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think it's important for our community to understand too, like, you know, you hear constantly, well, like, as we have more taxpayers, the school gets more money, but typically they all have children too, right? And so we're spending that money on buses and teachers and the growth that it costs inside the school system. So it's not like we just it's not like it's play money, right? It's like money that's going to go to support those students who are coming into our district.
Well, hopefully it turns those red numbers to a black or to a slightly different shade of red.
Right, so this is,
Right?
this is our 5-year
Yeah.
forecast as we are right now,
As we
without
are.
taking that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you look at, June 30, 2025, and you look June 30 of 2030, and it's 50% less. Yeah, but that's if there's not one additional house built.
Mhm.
Or one, So,
So,
it's,
if
so,
we look-
but we do have the 5-year forecast for that reason.
We
So
do.
we can be
Mhm.
prepared, so it's not just
Yeah.
making a decision,
Right.
this is for next year, this
Right.
is, this is, look, might get to, we get to the point where we're 3 years out, so we have to make some cuts because things are slowing down or whatever.
Well, and we also know there's a lot still going on at the state with property tax conversations and where this will do that. So
That could be
It's a
just
constant
so
watch.
significant.
Yeah.
If they change that.
the hard thing, and that we've said it, and that's the hard thing with our community is we haven't been out asking for operating dollars. It's been the 1% where we're at with the 20 mil, and there's no new property for schools, no new property taxes for schools that have been voted in because we're just following the way that, taxpayer, that tax funding is set up. So the 1% is what we budget off of, and it goes up and down at times with the economy. Obviously, it'll go up as we have more residents, but as to how much we don't know. So year to year look, but I think you guys know and listen up to Charlie. Eventually, our ask will have to be for space, and we want to make sure that if there's something locally funded we can do in there, we try to stay under our budget a little bit so that we can do a little bit of it locally. But if we continue to get it taken at that state level, it's hard to. That's where we've always said, even in the last bond issues, it's very hard to use operating dollars to build space. I mean, you think about the board office piece, it's the sale of the green and really the DPIA dollars that we got last year that were unexpected that allowed us to do this. To do that long term, to use operating dollars is really, aside from a few COPS issues that upgrade energy, lighting, and projects that have a useful life, we can do that internally, but the bricks and mortar, it's hard to do out of operating.
Well, and that's one thing that, we're talking on that once really we kind of get the scope and an idea of the budget on what we're looking at. I mean, I want to get our audit finance committee together and look at how are we funding this? And, you get in there, I can just tell you, like when I was here when our schools got built and renovated, you start moving walls out. You never know what's behind them sometimes. I've never seen change orders reduce the amount. It's usually things. So, just kind of plan and see what they come up with everything and get our committee together to make sure that when we spend this money, we're spending as smartly as we should be doing. So our next little slide.
I think that's everything you just talked about.
Yeah, this is pretty much everything in here. I do just want to kind of point out that the district on our 5-year, we're basically getting the same funding. And our Goshen residents, we're paying for it straight to schools now, and the state's taken away. So, I mean, I think that's the thing. It's just difficult because everyone, they see that increase right on their tax bill. And hopefully we can get that fixed on down the road. We did talk about the fair school funding plan. They still didn't fund it, the state did, and they just kind of put a number in there. It's very frustrating that they did that. In total, I'm just jumping here, they took about $950 million from public schools and put it down here at Ed Choice. So you have people that are, I'd say, in affluent areas getting taxpayer dollars to send her into a private school. It's amazing. So, but it's a wash of
950 that way and 950 that way. And so basically just transfer some of the money from public schools to private.
I wouldn't
2
call that
years ago.
amazing.
2 years ago, they forecasted it would cost about $1 billion, so they're dollars off, so it's pretty, and 2 years ago. It's crazy.
Yeah, and that's, I mean, it's a lot of talk still going on there on that, so.
And it's, again, politicians.
Yeah.
Northern Ohio, more so than down here, that just constantly attack public schools.
Their kids all go crazy.
So that's kind of it on that. I think the only other thing is our federal funding. We are still waiting on that. This is our last year's numbers. You can see in total, we got 1.3. Right now, we're at 1.1, but we are missing Title 2A and 4. So we're about break even on that. So we're looking at our, our budget, and what we've had out federal was going to be kind of flatlined. And so we'll move that, staff around in that to make sure got that budgeted appropriately.
Do we know when that will come through or not really?
It was supposed to come through. I think we got an email last week that it should be coming, our allocations, but it still hasn't.
The state created a new system for us to do our grants and then it didn't work. So,
Nice.
So we're working out of 2 different systems this year.
That'll be fun.
Anything
Anything
else?
else?
Very user friendly.
Any questions for Todd, other than what's been asked? Right. Moving on to new business C, financials. Item A, do we have a motion, 1 through 8? Approve 1 through 8?
So moved.
Second.
Lisa made the motion, Melissa, second. Any discussion?
Just talk about number 7.
7 is, we contract, I believe this year we got 3 kids at the MRD. I mean, it used to be MRDD, but it's Wild E.
Okay.
We have like 3 or 4 kids there. That's what that amount is.
Basically, it's a per student model or unit model. Just contract for that each year.
And then number 8.
8 is, all of our financial statements are prepared on a cash basis. And this is the state auditor's office, local government services, and they come in and help put on accrual. So your accounts payable, they help with prepare the balance sheet, income statement, all that kind of stuff.
Thanks.
Anything else?
Any further discussion? Mr. Schinkel, can you please call the roll?
Mrs. Werke?
Yes.
Mrs. Paprocki?
Yes.
Mr. Rare?
Yes.
Mrs. Gray?
Yes.
Mr. West?
Yes.
Moving on, do we have a motion to approve new business C, financials B, which is the resolution ranking of professional design firms?
So moved.
Second.
Corey made the motion, Bill second. Any discussion?
It's really just what I went through with you guys.
Yeah, that's a great plan.
Mr. Schinkel, can you please call the roll?
Mrs. Paprocki?
Yes.
Mr. Rare?
Yes.
Mrs. Gray?
Yes.
Mr. West?
Yes.
Mrs. Werke?
Yes.
Moving on, new business D, personnel 1 through 8. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
I'll second.
Wait, who made the motion?
Corey.
Okay, sorry, I didn't hear. Lisa, second. Any discussion?
I know you see a little bit of the mentor, resident educator mentors on there. Tomorrow morning, we do have that new teacher reception if you're able to stop by. You'll get to see I think 8 new staff members. I think there's, of the 8, 2, it's their first year. The rest of them are familiar to Goshen and experienced people.
This is also the time of the year where you start to have salary upgrades, teachers that have been taking credit hour courses and moving
Summer.
horizontally on a salary schedule.
Any further discussion? Mr. Schinkel, can you please call the roll?
Mr. Rare?
Yes.
Mrs. Gray?
Yes.
Mr. West?
Yes.
Mrs. Werke?
Yes.
Mrs. Paprocki?
Yes.
Moving on, new business E, athletic personnel 1 through 3. We have a motion to approve.
So moved.
Bill made the motion,
I'll second.
Melissa second. Any discussion?
Soccer's on the.
It was a shared position between 2. and one of the soccer coaches left, so you see the resignation, then you see the president himself.
Mr. Schenkel, can you please call the roll?
Mrs. Gray,
Yes.
Mr. West.
Yes.
Mrs. Martin,
Yes.
Mrs. Paprocki,
Yes.
Mr. Ray.
Yes.
Moving on to new business F, personnel. Do we have a motion on the one item?
So moved.
Second?
Lisa made the motion, Corey second. Any discussion?
Always need substitutes, so.
Mr. Schenkel, can you please call the roll?
Mr. West,
Yes.
Mrs. Werking,
Yes.
Mrs. Paprocki,
Yes.
Mr. Rivera, Mrs. Gray.
Yes. Moving on, new business G, miscellaneous. We have a motion to approve these items, which include the 2025-26 bus routes, Goshen tuition-based preschool, and a donation from Patrick Bogus for the Grow Bus.
So moved.
Second.
Bill made the motion, Lisa second. Any discussion?
So the routes they haven't changed much, but I'm sure if you saw on our page,
Yeah.
there are some detours that we're having to communicate.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, right.
A lot of stuff going on out in town, so they're working hard communicating with those families and getting that out there, but our routes right now have not changed tremendously. We're waiting to see the numbers on what we have to do. We have to figure out it all, or the routes are essentially stops.
Yeah, timing,
Yeah, right.
timing is
There
great.
may be an extra bus to stop, you don't know until you kind of get through that process.
Hopefully Woodville won't be done.
Not for, what did they say?
I can't remember, it's on the webpage, it's a month out. They were doing short 48, then they moved to Woodville. Yeah,
48,
it's longer than we'd like.
yeah. My
We'll
commute's
work
gonna be
through it.
longer. I tried to let my boss, try to convince him to let me work from home since I go to construction.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll do well. Yeah, it's gonna take me an extra 10 minutes to get to work.
Yeah.
He wouldn't have it.
Any
then-
further discussion?
And then just yearly with preschool, that's just approving the rates for
Yep.
the full preschool.
A nice little donation.
Yes,
I was just gonna ask, is that, I can't remember what was last year's? Is it the same?
same.
Okay. How does it
We
compare?
did it weekly last year.
Okay.
This is just changing it to monthly, right?
How does it compare to others? Like, do you know?
Not many full day preschools, but yes.
Okay, good.
I won't go.
Yeah.
It's, the whole thing of that, when it was, I'll go back to Charlene Thomas, I remember her telling me that along with kindergarten, it's supposed to be self-sufficient. So with that, as much as possible.
Mr. Schenkel, can you please call the roll?
Mrs. Werking,
Yes.
Mrs. Paprocki,
Yes.
Mr. Rivera,
Yes.
Mrs. Gray,
Yes.
Mr. West.
Yes.
Moving on to agenda item H, Board of Education reports. Melissa?
There's one article about student achievement and how middle school students benefit from reading aloud. So I don't know that it's gonna be really beneficial, but I could send it along to Teresa, but I'm sure that the middle school teachers already are aware of that, so I don't think it's really that beneficial. We probably have plenty of emails at this point.
Bill?
We had our public relations meeting today.
Yeah.
And we have our veterans recognition football game is September 5th, Friday, September 5th. So make sure you let our local veterans know. It's a great game, great recognition for veterans. Great Oaks, I was 2 weeks ago, I was in Columbus for the Ohio Career Tech Education Conference. Great. Few days there, a lot like Capital Conference, but for career tech schools. Learned things about AI. We talked about it a bit again this time. So it's a great thing about the Oaks. They're constantly looking for career tech throughout Ohio. How best to serve the kids, what programs to offer. And we talked a lot this year about how, 3 years ago, telling kids to go into IT, go into IT, go into IT. And now this year they're like, AI is doing a lot of those IT jobs, so what can we look at? I mean, there's still some IT jobs out there. There's still IT jobs out there with AI. So looking at other programs. A lot of schools throughout Ohio sharing, just like a capital conference we all go to, sharing what works in their districts, how their schools can use it. It's pretty cool. Great Oaks is one of the top 5 career schools in the country, recognized throughout the country. We go to the national conference too. And seeing that what Great Oaks does, I think they presented 3 or 4 different times up there, and hearing other schools throughout Ohio and learn from what we do at Great Oaks. It's great. One of the sessions also went to was about some of the programs that are booked up the quickest. Like, how can we get more kids into? Well, we've expanded some programs. We expanded Royal Oaks, our welding programs, expanded other campuses too, expanded other programs. But they're looking at possibly some adult ed programs if programs are not full. Maybe getting some of our senior kids into those programs in the evenings. Since there's space.
Yeah.
So that's something, and I wasn't even aware of that until I went to that. That they're exploring that. Right. They're doing that with other districts throughout Ohio. All, again, trade notes they presented together. Yeah, it's good. It's good information.
Thank you.
So Bill, just a question about that, and you might not know the answer to this, but I know like the adult ed programs, the adults have to pay for those programs, but our students can go to the Oaks, for the cost of the student fee. So if they go to the adult ed,
I think they
portion
have to
of
pay.
that, would they have to pay
think
that
so.
tuition then?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I wonder if it'd be handled like CCP, like where.
There's been conversations. I don't think it was.
Right, yeah.
You can use adult
Yeah.
ed dollars for some of the students, but I'm not, that's. no
Yeah,
side.
it'd
Right,
I don't
right,
think
yeah.
a kid would have to pay for that,
Yeah.
but there is that opportunity.
Yeah.
for that.
Yeah, I didn't know if they had discussed
It wouldn't be out of it.
that.
Good to find out. But yeah,
Great
I'll
question.
find out.
Yeah.
It's-
Lisa?
So the only update that I have since our last meeting is in response to the House Bill 96 vetoes that DeWine did. He has formed a property tax reform working group that they have had one. He formed this on, let's see, June, so he formed it, and the first meeting was on July 21st of this group. And they're hoping for a plan of action by summer of next year. But I mean, they are, looking at property tax. They're which was item 55 veto, item 65 veto, the 20 mil floor calculation. They're supposed to look at that. And then also item 66, which was the school district property tax levy restrictions. That was what they spent the majority of their time on at the July 21st meeting. So I'll kind of monitor that to see what might come from it. But I was somewhat surprised that he did form a group to actually take a deep dive into that. And it's got some county commissioners, 2 superintendents on it, and
County audit.
county auditors, and I think either 2 or 3 legislators. I can't remember legislators on there, so I can't remember. But yes.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Any questions for Lisa? Corey?
Not a ton to report. Had a real nice conversation with Lisa Allen last night and just kind of got some background information. They're getting a meeting tomorrow night about the property with the apartments and whatnot. And the reason why they're looking at that again is because it's zoned for industrial. So they're looking at, do they really want to do it? Do they, so talk about that. And then of course there's a big project coming up that I think will make a lot of noise, so they just kind of keep an eye on that, and the houses aren't stopping. They do have a reprieve, slow down on the properties, but it's, it's coming. So.
We're a hot community, aren't we?
Yes.
I want to be in that position. Any questions for Corey? Just for my report, I'm on the PR committee with Bill. That veterans recognition is also for first responders, so just letting our first responders know as well. Also, there is a veterans diploma program, and we do have a date planned, but we do not have a veteran to recognize yet. So if anybody knows, or if our community knows of a veteran that didn't receive their diploma because they were away or missed out on finishing their high school career and they're a veteran, please reach out to our superintendent or high school principal because it would be great to recognize and have a ceremony to recognize that individual. And then there are some dates for spring events. The business partners recognition breakfast is going to be February 25th. And the senior citizens dinner is going to be March 18th. I know that's way ahead, but if you're like me, I feel like the academic year goes so quickly. And then waiting on a few other things that we'll be doing on the spring. Goshen Education Foundation, we had an amazing, successful golf outing every year. We couldn't do it though without the partnerships and the volunteers. And it's really neat to see like our community come together with our business partners. But we made about $23,000 this year, which is more than usual. So each organization was able to walk away with about $7,500 to continue to give to scholarships. Athletic boosters are always supporting our athletic program, district improvements, and then teacher grants as well. So,
And I came in second place again. I am winning it next year.
you actually came in third.
Well, -11 and 2 -12. So
You actually came in third, but
Who won?
who won?
Is it the one that always wins?
My
Yeah.
husband,
Yeah.
same, yeah.
Eric Moe, Eric Moe.
You know what I've decided this year though? Next year I'm making him volunteer. He doesn't get a play.
Oh, shoot.
Oh, boy.
No, we're doing the heckling all the time.
Good luck with that.
We'll see if I can make that happen.
Oh.
And then Education Foundation is also hosting Roots Bourbon and Barbecue. So that's October 4th. Tickets and sponsorships are live now. So go on GEF's Facebook page or website. If you guys have questions, you can reach out to me or put in contact with me and I'll make sure people get the link. That's it for me. Anybody have questions about anything we talked about?
For the football game, the veterans football game, and the first, are we going to like maybe make a post or send out any? Okay, cool.
Yeah. They were
It's already,
finalizing.
yeah, usually it's already gone over to the Merrimack County Veterans Association. So they've got it, but we'll start to post those things pretty heavy here.
And it said in the,
Not necessarily.
wait, it's still
No,
up in the
no,
air?
yeah.
Okay.
There was a discussion after the meeting, so
Oh, there was?
they're identifying
Okay.
maybe a better space.
Okay.
We'll see.
Because it worked out well last year where
Yeah.
it was. And then this year.
There might be a better space, so.
Okay, good.
More to come on the exact
Yes.
location.
If anything, we're struggling with space.
It'll be
Yeah.
close, it'll be somewhere on our
Yeah.
campus. All right, moving on, new business, superintendent's report, Mr. Bailey.
Okay, a couple things here for action with you guys. Adopt a building. So in August, we update our, what buildings you want to kind of adopt and be a part of their communication. And then in January, we take care of appointments. So tonight, this is what it was last year. So if you guys want to discuss and kind of talk about, how you want to shift around or what you want to do.
Is there any building that someone hasn't been in they'd like to go in?
I'm still good with the high school.
I have not been at Markup.
Would you like to go there?
Sure.
And I have not been at, I'll take the middle school.
Bill? Would you like? Dr. Russo?
What do you want? I mean, I could.
And I
stay
think, yeah,
Spalding, or I can do,
And
I've
I
been in
think-
high school before, so I mean, it's up to you.
I'm open to either one.
Yeah.
I have 2 daughters at the high school,
Yeah,
so I could do Spalding since I'm kind of already here. all the time, but you pick. I'm really willing to do either.
You know, I think I'd like to.
Or
I'd like
do you
to
want them-
Spalding, I mean, last year I feel like I didn't get over there as much.
Okay.
I had, I mean, I didn't go as much during the day. I just couldn't,
So Corey and I
Yeah,
will,
sometimes I-
Corey and I will partner on the high school.
Okay.
I remember John said, you have to write the help with the agenda, so Deborah, you don't have to take one at all.
Or
I
you
could
could
just
do
support
You
all.
can
Spalding
do the
too.
board office.
I'll
We can
support
both
all.
do Spalding.
That's
'cause
right, yeah.
Did you say the board office?
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll still be
That's a
up
lot
to
to
that.
manage. Nobody wants us. Did you see that face?
Oh,
Oh, no,
I already come.
Short straw.
Yeah, I'm just kidding. All right, so I have that written down. So I have Corey at the high school, Melissa at the middle school, Bill at Spalding, Lisa at Mark Hook, and I will be a floater.
There you go. Very
Yeah.
good.
That sounds good.
And we'll revisit the other pieces come January.
Okay.
And then it is time to nominate a delegate
Oh,
for the Capitol Conference this year. So the process for this is we send the delegate name to OSBA to then communicate with the delegate. Really, the responsibilities of the delegate is to attend the business meeting. There's a briefing before, and then Monday, November 17th at 2:30 is the annual business meeting. So I would need a motion and a second for a delegate. I know Melissa's done it the last two.
Nope.
One,
I did once and Lisa.
Lisa did the other.
I'm fine with doing it again if nobody else wants to. I mean, I'm interested in the topics, so,
Kind of goes along with your role with.
yeah. I mean, unless anybody has a burning desire to go to that business meeting.
We good, Lisa? Everybody, we need to make a motion? Do I have a motion to appoint Lisa as our delegate?
So second.
Bill made the motion, Corey second. Any discussion? Mr. Schenkel, can you please call the roll?
Mr. West,
Yes.
Mrs. Markey,
Yes. Or do I need to
No,
abstain?
you're
Yes.
You're good. Mr. Rivera,
Yes.
Mrs. Gray.
Yes.
All right. And then I just have some informational probably dates that you want to get down. Southwest Regional Conference Fall, or the Fall Conference will be October 9th. That'll be at Laurel, again at Wilmington. Open house nights, you guys have those, and then our convocation, Monday morning. Love to see you guys there. I think it's going to be I'm excited about it. I'm always excited about the opening day, but we do have a guest speaker coming in that it's going to be pretty neat. And then just introducing new staff and kind of theme for the year that we'll go through and kind of talk about. So
What
love
time
to
is
have you
that?
guys. It's at 7 to 7:30 breakfast, which is going to look a little different this year. The cafeteria or the auditoria is going to be stadium seating with chairs. So we're going to have grab and go type breakfast out here in the foyer to take our kind of mingle and talk and then make our way. Normally we eat and then we move into the gym. We're going to stay in the cafeteria for the presentation this year. So it goes from about 7:30 to 9:45, 7 to 9:45. So the speaker's about an hour and then I've probably got 20 minutes or so on introducing some new staff. So we will, your side of it as far as introductions, and that'll be early on in it though. So
That's tomorrow.
that is Monday.
What, something's
And
tomorrow,
then
right?
tomorrow, yes,
That,
is,
okay.
and I say that, you've got your shirt, I skipped it.
Oh.
But we've got staff shirts for opening day. So if you're
Okay.
coming opening day, that is the
I can
shirt to wear opening day. And then you also have your SBC passes. Tomorrow morning is our new teacher orientation. Teresa, that is breakfast at like 7:45 to 8-ish. And then we do a who's who and just kind of, introduce ourselves, talk a little bit about why we love the place.
Well, I won't be able to.
Yeah.
My
Is
my boss decided to go to Hawaii, so I can't be here. Yeah, he's
Completely, I'm sure they'll see you
Yeah, yeah.
opening day too. So, but yes, you're welcome to
Tomorrow morning.
any, all the above. Good morning. Yeah, and it will be in here tomorrow.
Monday I'll be here though.
And then you guys have talked about the other ones on there, veterans and first responders. That is our first home football game. I was just talking to Coach Elkin about it. I mean, we're road warriors, and then we come home for a few in a row. So, and then homecoming, and then the following Friday is the George Rice Field dedication. I don't have that on there yet. It'll be in September, but the September 19th is dedication night. So I think that's it for me. Can't click anymore, so that means it's it.
Yes, it is. Any questions? Yeah, 12th and 13th December. Any questions for Mr. Bailey? All right, do I have a motion to adjourn this meeting?
So moved.
Second.
Corey made the motion, Bill second. Any discussion? Mr. Schinkel, can you please call the roll?
Mrs. Paprocki,
Yes.
Mr. Rare,
Yes.
Ray,
Goodness left.
Yes.
Mr. West. Yes. Mrs. Murphy.
Yes.
Meeting adjourned at 7:45 PM.